It takes some ooh to learn that love. Well. Hey, what's going on? Good evening, good afternoon. And welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Heart channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. And y'all know I am nosy is all outdoors. And we have been doing hot topics these last couple of days. But I did not forget that I got to do my show reviews. I have to do my show reviews. I have not forgotten about my show reviews. And last night I sat here and took all the notes for Love and Marriage Huntsville. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's tune the fuck in to what happens on this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Once again, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you can get all of my videos when they drop. My Lit at 6, Live at 5, More at 4, Dear Deja, Damn Deja, My Unpopular Opinions, so on and so forth. And my show reviews. That's always fun to talk about my show reviews, right? Please make sure you hit the thumbs up on the video. Hit the thumbs up on the video. That is your free way of supporting my channel and getting me out in the algorithm. Also, if you want to drop down and leave a super chat, if you want to send a cash app, it's there on the screen. I got it all up for y'all, so you let me know. In any event, let's get to these notes and let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hey, Pookie. So, the episode starts off, and Mel is still questioning Latricia because remember, Latricia had this whole backstory allegedly with Martell and how she went to the house and she was allegedly gonna train him. Meanwhile, he looks like he could train her, and it was just a whole debacle. And once again, you guys know if you watch the show, Latricia was pussyfooting around what really happened when she went to the house to train him, and Martell was there saying nothing ain't happened because I ain't want the hoe. When she got there, I wasn't interested. But she's like, well, I don't know where I went, and I don't know what time I got there, and I don't know how the garage looked, and I don't know what time of the year it was, and I can't remember if I had on a coat, and I don't know if I had short hair or long hair. And Melody is looking at this bitch like, girl, I'm about to yank your ass because you're lying, right? But going with the story. So, you know, Melody. Melody is good at this reality TV shit. And I'm telling y'all, that's probably going to be the next chapter for me when I'm done with the New York City Department of Education. I probably will go on over to either starring in or producing or directing or preferably producing reality TV because sometimes the way that these people act on these shows, I'm looking at them like, you don't know how to play this game, but some people don't. Clearly, Melody does because Melody was ready and she was not playing with Latricia ass. And as you can see, this is Latricia's first reality show. This is Latricia's first time, I'm guessing, on television. So Latricia did not know what to do, and Melody was running circles around her, right? One of the things that I didn't like that Latricia did, she does this often. So instead of her saying things to people's face, what she does is she waits till she gets in her confessional and she say things that really would have contributed to the conversation in a good way because it would keep the conversation going. But instead, she's just sitting there with her chin fucking growing, looking stupid. And then in a confessional, she's saying everything she needed to say in that moment. So one of the things that she said in the confessional was like she feels like Melody is still kind of pressed because of the line of questioning that she's doing regarding the situation. If you're not with the man, you don't want the man. If you're not with the man, you don't want the man. If you're not with the man, you don't want the woman. If you're not with the woman, you don't want the man. If you're not with the man, you don't want the woman. So basically, what she's saying is that Latricia That's not the case, Latricia. I don't think you understand that these people don't know you and they're just meeting you. And it says a lot about your character if you're going to be continuously fucking lying about a situation that you and Martell claim is not that serious. So right now, when I'm trying to get to know you, I'm trying to feel out who you are. And one of those things that matter in this situation is your character. And if you're going to sit up here and lie about something that you guys are both saying is so small, then it tells me a lot about your character. And I need to know about that if I'm trying to get to know you. So I don't necessarily think Melody gave a damn. I just think Melody wanted to get a good scene and you were stupid enough to give it to her. Anywho, she didn't invite Melody. She's like, listen, well, my son is going off to college. If I'm not mistaken, I think her son was going off to college, but I also think Ken's daughter was graduating from somewhere too. And they was like giving them something together. Okay, I froze. Am I back now, Pookie? I don't know why I froze. I'm sorry, you guys. Did I freeze for long? Okay, well, I'm back. So hopefully you guys heard everything I said when I froze. I apologize for that. But so afterwards she was like, listen, the kids are having some of my son is going off to college. Oh, I froze for a good 15 seconds. So I'll try to see if I can edit this video and implement what you guys must have missed. But anywho, she asked Mel if she would be interested in coming to the college send off for her young person. So he was like, Melody was like, sure, I have no problem because I feel like that's going to be a kid centered setting. Therefore, it won't be no drama. And I'm just not trying to have any drama. And I'm looking at Melody like, thank you, Tifa. Hey, girl. I'm looking at Melody like, you don't want to have no drama because Melody, I watched you this entire freaking episode go around and start fires. But I'll get back to you. Anywho, hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. So, anywho, in the next scene, they show the Fletchers. I like the Fletchers. I like the Fletchers. They give you that old head couple that you need around, right? So, anywho, the Fletchers have now they've obtained a new office on the north side of Huntsville. So they're there, looking at the new office and trying to get things together. And Martell stops by. Now, you guys remember Martell that when it showed his motherfucking ass in the last episode, cutting up in regards to this whole Marceau or Letitia. And, it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a tad bit tiresome, but then it's very entertaining because I don't know, something about Martell is double-sided for me. One part of it is he is a jerk, but then the other part of it is he's likable, right? And I don't know why it's like that, but it is. Like he can do a lot of jerk shit, but then the other side of him is like, I think like Martell. So anyway, when he stopped by, of course, Chris, that's Mr. Fletcher, he brings up, he like, so what was all that with you and Marceau and all of that? What was that about, right? And Martell was basically giving how he feels about the situation, which is he is tired of Marceau popping junk about him and doing weird shit. He was like, and always making it seem like it's him when no, bro, it was you from the beginning. Now, what I will say, and again, this goes back to another part of me feeling like I fake like Martell because in the beginning, they were making a mockery of Melody and Martell's marriage. And in all fairness, so was Melody and Martell. Let's be clear. I don't want to make it seem like these people just came out of nowhere. No, Melody and Martell were making a mockery of their marriage too. So, like case in point, I remember it was one season. Oh, we're not together. We're not hanging with each other. We're done with each other. Our marriage is over. So everybody's like, okay, fine. Your marriage is over. He do this, you do that, and so we know why it's over. Then y'all show up at the reunion and y'all united front and y'all against the whole cast. So a lot of times Martell and Melody put themselves in that predicament, but I do feel like the people on the side was being spectators and laughing and joking and saying little slick shit. And Martell shared some of that stuff that I actually remember when I watched the show. One of the things that he shared was a lot of times Tisha, when Martell and Melody was like in a bad place, Tisha would be there telling Melody more rumors about him and feeding into the narrative that he's not a good guy, which he says makes him feel like it contributes to their divorce. Now, in all fairness, Martell, you're divorced because you're a fucking cheater. Let's be clear. But I do understand what you're saying is I didn't need anybody's help with creating a narrative that I was a bad guy against my ex-wife because I already showed her I was a bad guy. You don't need to continue to add flames to the fire. So anyway, he was saying he was tired of Marceau. Chris Fletcher basically was like, well, you and Marceau feel the same way because I spoke to him and it was the same type of energy, right? And then Miss Nell was like, well, listen, I just feel like, which is everybody's feeling, you was dead wrong for bringing Letitia in it. And he basically was like, absolutely not. Y'all gonna cut this bullshit. They're a package deal. They are a package deal. And then he shared the part I just told you about with the whole she was telling Melody stuff also when they was going through their trials and tribulations and all of that. And then he said, they are a package deal. And I agree. Letitia was like for example, when Martell was showing his ass and saying all of these things and they was arguing back and forth at the adult field day, instead of Letitia saying to her husband, sweetheart, stop. Stop arguing with him. Let him talk, right? She sits there and looks like she's not in a room when he's speaking, right? But then when Martell starts speaking, she starts arguing with Martell, and you see Marceau telling her, be quiet, don't say nothing. Yes, I think you can do the same for him, but you don't. You allow him to go and go and go as well. And y'all know Martell is not mature enough not to go with him. So now here we go. It's not only on Martell. Marceau is a very, very big part, and really him alone, because a lot of shit that he was doing back then, like making jokes about their marriage and stuff, even Maurice used to be like, bro, you gotta chill, you going too far. So he likes to be a jerk and a dickhead. What he didn't realize is Martell is, like what he said, has nothing to lose at this point, so he can go way further than you. And now you feel like he went too far, but a lot of times you either Marceau participate in it or you initiate it, right? And to me, it's not really funny because you're too old for the shit. And I feel like you do it to Tisha too. It's a form of gaslighting, like what you was doing at the jewelry store about the whole ring situation. Oh, you don't want to wear the ring. You feel naked when you don't have on your watch. And she's looking at you like, but you never wear your fucking ring. Why don't you feel naked without that? And you're married. But I think you were saying it to gaslight her. And then on top of that, when she's telling you, it makes her feel away and she's tired of people attacking the marriage, instead of you being like, I know I'm a part of that, it's like, well, let me apologize on their behalf for treating you that way. No, you're helping them treat her that way. Like, so he just annoys me. I think he's good for reality TV, but I don't think he's good for the marriage. And I just don't like some of that shit, right? But in any event, like I said, he's entertaining, right? You can also see that Martell is still very, very hurt about the demise of their marriage. But I don't necessarily think it's only about the marriage ending. I think he's also hurt because he feel like it was only their marriage that ended. I think to a certain degree, he feel like we all was out doing bullshit, so y'all should be in the same line of fire that I was in. You underestimated your bitch, Martell. You should have known. I think Marceau knows what type of woman he has. I think Maurice knows what type of woman he has. And I think you underestimated your woman. And now, look what happened. So anyway, and Ken went to see his friend. He has a friend named Will. So they're at a bar and they're taking shots, and Ken is just basically explaining, they have the celebration coming up for the kids. He's excited. And then of course Marquez comes up. Marquez. I'm gonna be very honest. And again, it could very well be an act, right? It could be an act. I don't know Marquez from a hole in the wall, and I ain't seen enough Marquez enough times on this show to honestly say I can give a fair assessment of whether he's acting or not. But I personally feel like Ken's assessment of Marquez, who probably sees him more often than I do, right, was spot on, right? So what he said is that Marquez is very, very emotionally driven. I'm going to also add that he's emotionally unstable, right? And he said because of that, it's kind of hard to rationalize things with him because everything is about his feelings and his emotions and he can't keep it together. And I feel the same. I feel the same. Now, again, do I know if that's an act? I can, God, listen. I hope that there's no unaliving regarding this situation because Marquez doesn't give me that he's stable enough emotionally to be able to handle all of this. And then on top of that, handling it publicly. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep y'all in prayer. But anyway, he was basically saying, but again, he don't give a damn about him. He just was trying to be friendly and cordial with him so they could basically build something so they can coexist in order for them to be like family because it's children involved, right? So then he shares that as soon as Latricia gets the divorce, because that's what has to take place now, he's gonna cop her the ring. Right. And he was like, but he doesn't actually know when it's going to take place because Marquez is the king of drag and everything because of the way he feels. Right. And I was thinking to myself, if you think, Ken, that Marquez is the only one dragging this, then you're a damn fool. But see, what I learned from you from the beginning is you're a damn fool. And don't get me wrong, you're being a fool for somebody that you really care about. I love that for you. I love that you really care about Trisha, but don't sit around and excuse her bullshit because you really care about her. Marquez is not the only one dragging it. The same way how He could have went and filed for divorce and signed the paperwork and so on and so on and so forth years before you came into the picture. She could have as well. You know what I'm saying? So she plays along with the bullshit and she's dragging it too, even up until this point, because if I'm not mistaken, Marquez is who bought the divorce papers to the dinner y'all had, right? It was just up to her to sign them and have them notarized. She's just doing this maybe 2-3 episodes later. Now, again, I don't know how the time frame works within filming, but we didn't see it happen right then and there, right? Or immediately, right? So Will was asking, well, how pretty much that's Ken's friend, how is the college send-off gonna go? With him being like emotionally driven and all that. And Ken was like, listen, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna go around him, I'm gonna do what I can, I'm gonna be patient because he understands that this is stressful for Marquez and he doesn't want to stress him anymore, right? Okay. All right. In the next scene, Latricia's there prepping, getting the house ready for the situation, and Destiny stops by, right? And they sit down and they're about to start catching up, and then the doorbell rings. The doorbell rings, and it's the Notary Public, right? So beautiful woman, nice woman. She came in, Latricia went to the table, they sat down, Latricia signed, boom, she stamped, and she was out the door. So Destiny was like, wait, I'm sorry, what did you just sign and stamp? So she's like, my divorce. So Destiny was like, you just signed your divorce papers just now? She was like, mm-hmm. She was like, wow, what is going on? Like, this is big. Like, you're okay, right? So what I got from it was like, Latricia was like, listen, we've been separated 5 years. I think she said she hadn't seen him in 4. And her and Ken had been together 2.5, something like that, right? And she was just saying basically, like, she's ready to move forward. She's ready to move forward. She's ready to do what she needs to do. It's that time, yada yada yada. And she couldn't wait any longer. He came with the paperwork, so let's get this done with. She also shared that, oh, so Destiny was like, so that means that, you're ready to start planning a wedding. So she was like, I don't know about that part. So Destiny was like, no. She was like, no, only because I love Ken and Ken checks off all the boxes. She said, but so did Marquez in the beginning, right? And she was like, we only have 2.5 years in. I need to give it time because I do not want to make the poor choices that I made in the past and end up the way I am now, right? And I truly, truly respected Latricia for saying that because me personally, I feel the same. I do not want to have to get divorced. I do not want to have to feel like somewhere along the lines I made the wrong choice. So I have to give myself time and patience to really, really get to know anybody that I plan on spending the rest of my life with, right? So anyway, then Destiny did something that irritated me, but it's also something I feel like I might have did too. So she basically was, I'm not going to say trying to tell Latricia how to feel, but she was trying to tell Latricia what would happen. And Latricia's like, no, it won't. So like she was like, oh, you're about to go through a grieving phase because you lost something and someone, and that chapter finally closed and you're not going to be able to believe it. And Latricia was like, girl, this is not a situation where we just was living together a year ago and no, we've been separated for years. All that shit is out my system and I'm done with his aggravating, emotionally unstable ass. That was pretty much what Latricia was saying. But Destiny kept saying, no, you're gonna grieve, and no, I'm telling you it's coming. And I'm looking at Destiny like, Destiny, shut the fuck up, because your marriage fell apart in 2.2 seconds. That's why you feel that way. Not to mention, I think most of your relationships, I don't know where the fuck you are, you're blind, and next thing you know, a nigga's clipping you. So maybe you and Latricia don't seem like y'all the same. But anyway, she kept trying to tell her it would be a grieving period, and she was like, girl, go away from me with this, Apollo. So then she said that she's a little nervous. Latricia said she's a little nervous about the college send-off because Ken and his family will be in the same room with Marquez and his family. And she know, like I know, Marquez is not stable, right? In the next scene, Letitia and Marceau are sitting at Black and they're having a conversation, and you can tell Letitia's pretty much she keeps home because she was explaining to Marceau what she was going to be doing for the rest of the day. And one of the things was that their son has senior pictures. And Marceau was like, what? She was like, yeah, you have a son, you know that, right? And he actually is graduating. Do you know that? Okay, no, yeah. But I guess, they set up the way they set up, which is understandable. You deal with the household, I'll deal with the business outside to bring the money into the household. That's how some people work their marriage out. It works for them, leave them alone. So as they sitting there, Marceau was like, well, Melody reached out to me, and Latricia shot Marceau a look, and she tried to be, keep it cute. She's like, I said what? But you could see in those moments that Letitia felt away because there was some conversation in the past about Melody reaching out to Marceau or them having phone conversations or text conversations. And Letitia just made it clear that at that time she didn't want that happening. She wanted either a group chat, a group text, or you say it directly to me. So you could see her shoot Marceau the fucking look, and Marceau knew. So he was like, no, she's actually when it comes to speak to both of us. She said that she has something she has to share with me and you. And Letitia looking like, so why the bitch ain't text me too? But okay, all right, got it. I'll sit here and wait. So now Melody comes in. Melody looked really, really good in pink. I loved what she had on. It was like a two-piece pants and blouse, and it was kind of flary, and it was so cute. It was so, hey, Miss Carly. She said, don't make no damn common sense, Tisha. So yes, so she looked very pretty, very cute, right? So she came in, she like, hey y'all, she was like, well, I came with y'all together because I received a text from Martell, and he said that you guys were pretty much talking bad about me at Destiny's Adult Field Day. So she was like, and I didn't respond to the text, so he doesn't even know if I fucking got it or not because he's not supposed to be texting me unless it's about the kids. So I didn't respond to him. I just said, I remember that we all made a pact a few seasons ago that it wouldn't be any more of this confusion about how people feel. We will come to one another if something takes place. So I'm coming to you guys to kind of figure out what happened. So both of Marceau and Tisha was like, oh, this motherfucker's a piece of work. Marceau was like, that's not the way it happened. What happened was I was trying to explain the type of character that Martell has, which is he now texts me and reaches out to me to ask me about if I'm trying to sleep with you or trying to talk to you, and it's like, why are you asking me, am I trying to talk to your wife, dude, when I have my own wife and you're supposed to be my friend? He was like, but see, this is the type of weird shit that he would do, and he was like, it's always a game of semantics. You say one thing to one person, you come back and say something else to another. And it shit is aggravating. And Melody understood where they was coming from because remember, she had her own chapter when they were going through their whole divorce where she was saying all these things about Martell and everybody couldn't relate because they didn't know that side of him. So they basically was like, okay, well, that's between y'all two. And it was frustrating Melody because she wanted them to kind of understand where she was coming from and be on her side. But in all fairness to the group, it's like, well, first of all, that's your husband. So you may go through things with him that we never experienced. Second of all, we don't want to be involved with y'all shit. So we're staying neutral. And Melody hated that. So you could see she's kind of getting a kick out of them now experiencing the Martell she'd been trying to tell them that he was years ago, right? So they start dragging Martell, everybody, right? And Melody did say in her confessional, she's like, I low-key feel vindicated. I low-key feel vindicated because when I was saying these things about this motherfucker, y'all was looking at me like I was just scorned, jealous, evil, and mad. When really and truly, I told y'all he had this shit in him, right? I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So anywho, it's the college send-off, right? Now the college send-off is at Latricia and Ken's house. They live together. And when they ping the cameras over there to them, Latricia and Ken are having like a private conversation, and she's like, hey, I got the divorce papers signed and notarized. So he's like, okay, that's what's up. I appreciate that. So she was like, you think I should tell him like today? Because he's not really emotionally stable. And Ken was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm looking at Latricia. You know what, Latricia? I don't want to say that I think you're a little off, right? Because I don't necessarily know if it's that, because in your confessional, you know what it is? You lack self-confidence. You lack self-confidence. So you're not stupid, you're not slow, you're not ditzy. What you are is you have like this self-consciousness about actually sharing what you feel, what you know, what you think in front of other people. Because in your confessionals, when you're not sitting next to Ken, you speak very freely and like you have some fucking sense, right? But whenever you're sitting in front of somebody else or talking to somebody else, I'm there looking at you like, are you fucking retarded? Like, so I think you need to work on your confidence because you need to be able to stand up and speak up for yourself instead of letting a person say anything or think anything in the moment because you have some, I don't know if it's a fear surrounding speaking up. And then when you're not around that person, you have so much to say and you can speak freely. It comes across weird and it also comes across very immature because you're a grown ass woman with kids. And it makes me also think about the demise of your marriage. I'm not saying that Marquez didn't play a big part in that. I'm also not saying that it wasn't his fault, but I feel like a lot of things probably wasn't communicated to him, right? Because you have an issue with communicating. You can tell, right? So Miss Carlene said my sewing teacher is going through now what Mel is still going through. Exactly. Martell is a piece of fucking work. He tore them up at that adult field day. He was like, Tisha got the bottom of the barrel. You was fat. You was ugly. You could tell Marcel had the dumb face. And again, Martell is a double-edged sword for me. He is a jerk. But for some, it's like he's like 85% jerk. But for me, the other 15%, I like him. So Miss Carlene said Tisha should have never said what she said on Carlos King podcast. It's about to be on in real time. Martell about to bring some of my soul mistresses on a blogger podcast, allegedly. Oh, I know that, Miss Carlene. See the plot thickens, right? So then the guests start arriving. The guests start arriving to the college send-off, and Marquez shows up. Marquez. I'm telling y'all, I'm scared. I'm not laughing. No, this is not even funny. I'm not laughing. I really, and once again, Marquez can be an excellent actor, and maybe all of this is an act. But if I'm just thinking, like just off of straight up looking at him, not even thinking about just paying attention to his actions, Marquez give me that he could have a mental break and it could all go left and people won't be safe. That's what it gave me. But anyway, he shows up now, right? So he's walking around, he's standing around. Then it was like he did a toast. He said a toast, right? So everybody like, okay, yay, boom, toast, boom, 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 right? So then he starts to walk around the barbecue. It's because it's in the backyard. He starts walking around the backyard. So he goes over and it's Chris Fletcher, Maurice, and Chris Fletcher's son. And they're standing in like a little group talking, right? So then he proceeds to start pleading his case about the whole situation. He starts talking about the divorce. He starts saying that Ken was in Latricia's DM way before he left. All of this stuff. So Chris Fletcher's son was like, I'm sorry, who the fuck is he? That's how his face looked. Maurice was like, okay, as an attorney, I have to hear this brother out. And you can see Chris Fletcher was like, nigga, what? And I'm cracking up because in Chris Fletcher's confessional, he said it. He was like, I don't even know this dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him. So him coming over needing all this counseling and mentoring is making me a little uncomfortable because I don't even know this dude. I was cracking up. They all was looking at him like, and then, oh God, Marquez needs to be on the show, right? So now, after he pleads his whole case, he was like, he has the kids, he has the house, he has the woman, and he's way bigger than me. I'm low key. What he said, I'm low key. What did he say? Did I write it down? I'm low key trigger. I was cracking. I was like, Marquez, what in the dog fuck is wrong with you? They switched back to fucking Chris Fletcher confessional. Chris was like, you know what? Because Chris is older than him. If he's not, he appears to be, right? And so you could tell he kind of more feels like the mentor of the group, right? So he was basically saying, he was like, you know what? The brother needs some therapy. The brother needs some counseling. And I guess, I may appear a little older, so he might have thought he could get that from me. And I think he should get it. Just not from me because I don't know the brother. I was cracking up. I like Chris Fletcher, right? So then, now, okay, everybody is looking at him over there, telling the story like, oh, brother, here go the bullshit. So then Melody arrives. So she goes around the room speaking to everybody, and then she stops and she's talking to Latricia. So they kind of go off to the side and they talk. Hold on, Miss Carlene said, Gorilla Glue Lips, Trisha, Ken, and Marquez need to be lying on someone's couch or in a bathroom. Right, Miss Carlene? Right. Right. So now when Melody shows up, you know, she's doing her little walkthrough through the room, right? So then she goes over, she's talking to Latricia, they having like this sidebar conversation. While they having a conversation, the whole divorce thing comes up. She's like, well, you know, I put my paperwork in and you know, I got it notarized and you know, we well on our way. So, you know, now Melody is asking questions about the divorce because she's been through the process and child support, all right? As she's talking about this, Ken walks over. I mean, Marquez walks over. So you can see instantly when Marquez walks, or it's just, yeah, their relationship had to get very toxic in the end. It had to, because you can honestly see the tensing up of Latricia as soon as Marquez walks over, right? And in all fairness, Marquez is like, hey, how you doing? I know I don't know you well, but I do know your ex-husband. And Latricia, you know her ex-husband too, right? Again, just being shady and weird and crazy. So Latricia is looking at him like, yeah, motherfucker, I do know him. And what happened? So he was like, you know, I just want to kind of ask you, Melody, how do you co-parent with somebody without being triggered? Right? And Latricia is looking at this motherfucker like, she was like, listen, because I know you came over here to start some bullshit. Stop playing with me. All right. So he was trying to make Latricia look crazy because she did start flipping. So that Melody like, oh shit, bitch, I got my popcorn. Somebody else's relationship is falling apart. Let me watch the demise of this. So she didn't eat her food all in it. So now he is gaslighting the dog fuck out of Latricia. But how are you gaslighting and crashing out, Marquez? I have no idea. But I seen it done simultaneously through you, and I'm proud of you for being able to do so. So anyway, she's like, stop fucking playing with me because I see what you're trying to do. You coming over here, you trying to start some bullshit, and I'm not here for that fucking bullshit. She on Marquez's head top. So now look at him. But why are you triggered in this moment, Latricia? Why are you getting upset? What seems to be the problem? I'm cracking up. Latricia said, you know what? She just walked away. So when she walked away, they now like, oh, everybody gather around. We're gonna make a toast. We're gonna make a toast. So Ken is making the toast. Ken got up there. He was like, you know, we want to thank everybody for coming out to me and Latricia house and for representing for me and Latricia kids and for being in me and Latricia life, because me and Latricia love everybody that's here, right? Because we really think that me and Latricia are a union, and me and Latricia want to let y'all know that we love y'all and thank y'all for being a part of me and Latricia and the kids' life. Marquez is looking at this motherfucker. He says, you know what? He inched over, inched over, inched over. When he got in the camera view, he was like, "Out of pappy." Yo, I was Listen, this whole scene where everybody was like this. Okay, should we go? I was cracking up, and Marquez looking at Ken like, "Yeah, bitch, you was just about to play in my face, but you ain't know when I get in front of people, I can play back in yours. I've been doing it all fucking day." And Ken is looking like, "I'm gonna crunch this motherfucker with one bare hand if he keep up." Yo, I love the drama between them. I love the drama between them. It cracks me the fuck up. I was like, "What is going on?" But again, it is entertaining, and I love the fact that we have a new couple on there with a new storyline, because all that other shit is aggravating when, you know, it's like, oh God, we don't want to hear about just Melody and Martell. I'm happy that Kimmy is in the latter part of her cancer journey. God is good. She rung the bell, so that's beautiful. I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, I do know, because I think it just ended. Maurice's DUI situation. He was stupid for that happening, and I want to see if anything is gonna come out of them trying to insinuate, not them, Melody Firestart Nash trying to insinuate that he might be cheating because it made it look like he have lipstick on his lip and on his collar. Melody, we see what you're doing here. You and Martell might as well get back together, because y'all have the same mission, which is to bring down every couple within y'all friend group, because y'all relationship fell apart. Tisha and Marceau, like I said, I do believe in my heart of hearts that Tisha is that Marceau is excellent for reality TV. I just don't like the way he's willing to sacrifice embarrassing his wife for the sake of the check. I'm sorry, I wouldn't stand for it, but I would have slit that motherfucker throat a long time ago. But that's why we needed Miss Wanda around, because when he played with Letitia, Miss Wanda gets on his head top, right? Love and Marriage Huntsville is a cackle. I love it. It cracks me up. Make sure you guys tune in. I'm gonna watch Married to Medicine tonight. I'm gonna watch Potomac, and I'll drop those videos for you guys tomorrow, and I'll also be dropping some Dear DJs this week. So remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.